All right, all right, all right. Let's kick this thing off a few minutes early. I do have a hard stop at 9 today, so I'm just gonna get the ball rolling a few minutes here prior to 8. And yeah, we'll see where that takes us. I am going to navigate over to makeovermonday.vercel.app, and we'll go ahead and get a jump on this. My lights are a little bit dark today. Let me up that. Oh, much better. All right. Let's cover data sets. And this week we are looking at US data center locations. So we've got some data here, apparently from ArcGIS, which is quite interesting. So we've got geospatial data available to us today. And with that downloaded, let's go ahead and boot up Tableau and take a look at what we've got. Move this over to the correct screen. Send the error report. Very fun. Whatever I was doing last crashed on me. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead and grab that data centers data set. And we've got a README as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at this README for a moment. It's not going to be great to read in Tableau, though. Let me open this up in good old numbers. And let's see what we've got here. Flip over here. Great. So we've got this README here. So we can make that a little bit bigger. Can I do. All right. Well, this is miserably small, and I can't find. Oh, is this? Nice. That might be better. So we've got an in-progress tally of permitted, existing, and proposed data centers. So permitted, existing, proposed. It's probably like a status flow that we kind of work through there, where something is proposed and then permitted and then becomes existing once it's built. We determine these locations through scans of media announcements. The main focus of the map is on data center proposals. So that's the main focus here. And existing data centers are slowly being added. Other sources include public records. All right, so our true data source here is Frac Tracker Alliance, actually, with incorporation of data sets from Piedmont Environmental Council. Okay. Ongoing data collection. This data in particular was generated at the end of January of this year, so about 6 months ago. And a complete data set. This is just terms of service. Okay, cool. So basically, we've just got a list of data centers that have been permitted or are already built, permitted. So yeah, thank you for Frac Tracker. I'm gonna flip over to. This is actually harder to read, I feel like, than Tableau would be, but I'm just skimming here. Yeah, we'll just look in Tableau. Go ahead and remove this. Drag in our Frac Tracker data centers. And what have we got? We've got facility name, address, city, state, zip, county. We've got Latin longs if we want to go geospatial. We've got the status, location confidence. So here are the things that I'm kind of interested in. I'm interested in status a little bit. I'm interested in location confidence. Kind of. Not really. Purpose would be really cool, but it looks like there might be a lot of nulls here. So we'll have to look into that. Operator name could be interesting. Tenant, MW, size rank. Size rank could also be interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of these in a sheet. So, like, first off, if we take purpose and we just grab our count of data centers, as I kind of feared, most of the most of the purpose fields for these data centers are null. We're seeing 1,500 nulls. So Oh, this would be so fun. It would be really cool to do like an AI, AI crypto, yeah, crypto, versus non-AI and crypto, and just kind of see how that shift changes as the years go by and more data centers are built for AI. But I don't think that's going to happen with that field today. What about cooling source? Again, we got a lot of nulls. I'm going to start hiding some of these fields. There's a lot of fields over here, and I know that I'm probably not going to build something with these. I'm kind of thinking in the back of my head of a tree map. So if we can find like a cool field that works nice, it doesn't have to be a tree map necessarily, but I'm thinking like, if we want to display the United States on like a hex map or even like a tile map, we want something to put inside of those hexagons or tiles. So just kind of looking for what we have available. I'm not liking cooling source. Cooling type, again, same problem. Before you know it, we're going to have no fields left over here. Websites are just going to be a mess, and most of them are null. These all might be really good context in the tooltip later, and I can always unhide these and bring them back. But for right now, just kind of trying to clean up what we've got. Nice. So city's a good field. I would hope so. Interesting. Community pushback. This could be cool. County. Date created. Date updated. 1,621 records. 1,621. I think we want to use let's make these dates first. Here they are. Turn this into a date. Turn this into a date. I didn't like how Tableau loaded right there. I'm going to go ahead and save my file really quick, just in case. July 24th, 2026, US data centers. Just in case this crashes. So we've got nulls. Let's exclude this null value. Let's change this back to a bar for now. So date created goes back to what looks like April of 2024. And it runs up through presumably, okay, we go out beyond January of 26 because this includes proposed data centers. And if we flip to date updated, I expect to see something similar. I didn't hold options. This is going to pre-aggregate to year, which is fine. We'll just change this to, it's actually going to be quicker, I think, if I just do date updated, option click and drag and drop this on. It's a few less clicks. So I'd have to change it to exact date and then flip it to discrete. This starts in 2025 and runs, yeah. Oh, we've got something. We got a couple of these that are planned to be updated in 3036. Wow. All right, so we're going to just stick with the date created. I'm going to get rid of date updated and hide it. Dedicated power plant. Performance is a little bit rocky here as I'm dragging these fields in. This is also a nothing burger, so we're going to take this off and hide it. And because performance is a little bit wonky, I am going to go ahead and create an extract of this. That should hopefully improve the performance a little bit. Faculty name, we could maybe do something with. Potentially we could parse out things like Amazon and things like, probably Meta. Anything with bit in it. It's an idea. I don't love it. We'll see. I'll keep it there. Square footage. I mean, a lot of nulls again. I don't need any of these info sources. Information source, maybe. long. I don't know what MW is. I closed out of my README. I don't think it was in there, though. There wasn't like a data dictionary. Because I don't know what this is, I'm just going to remove it. NDA, number of buildings. I don't think I really want to play with that. It's a string column right now. Number of generators. Amazon, Microsoft. Okay, here we go. So here's some companies. Interesting. Still just a lot of our data set is null though, which I don't love. Other info is not useful to me. Petition URL, I don't need. Power source, don't need. Project cost, I don't need. Interesting. Might want that field back later, but I'm still trying to figure out what we're going to viz today. So unknown. Suspended proposed pre-proposal. Let me go to my sort, my default sort for status, and let's try to sort these in order that they would happen. Can I make this bigger? I cannot. Sorry, it's very small. But the sequence that we would want to see these is pre-proposal, proposed, operating is kind of the end, unless it's canceled or suspended. And then expanding versus approved, permitted, under construction. Where does expanding fall? I guess it's an option. After it's been operating, we could potentially expand. So yeah, proposed, approved, operating. Okay. Interesting. Tenants, bunch of null values. Zip code, I'm sure we have. State, I'm sure we have. So we've got our state field. And I did download a tile map file that we could join to before this, just in case we wanted to take that route. I'm going to connect to that and see if that sparks some inspiration. So if you haven't seen a tile map file before, you can find it by Googling it. It's just a United States tile map. What that data set looks like is essentially for every state in the United States, we have a column and a row assigned to the state. And it just kind of removes the Alaska effect where everything is centered in a view and sized as an equal square. So it does a good job of representing the states equally. And since we have a state field, Tableau already picked that up automatically, that state is equal to state in this case, which we should verify that it is. It could be an abbreviation. I think it was correct. And we could change this relationship to many to one because this is just a one row per state data set. The extract is going to take a moment. Okay, and now we've got our state. So I should be able to take my column to columns and my row to rows, and you can start to see the shape of the United States coming to life. Very good. And now if I add, I don't know, maybe like we'll make these squares. And if we just throw like color here, we've got a null. How is that possible? So wait, we might have a state problem here. Exactly. So abbreviation is the field that our data set is using. But because the field is named state and our tile map data source has a field named state, Tableau assumed in its relationship that state is the same as state, when in this case, state is actually the same as abbreviation. So now if we go back, we see that fix. We do have one null still, which we can just exclude. And now we've got each of our states. Let's throw an abbreviation onto label here. Maybe we center that. And we can see the states that have a large volume of data centers. So very interesting. We'll go ahead and drag this field to tooltip as well. I'm just thinking ahead a little bit. So yeah, Virginia, Georgia, Texas, Puerto Rico has 0. Interesting. Okay, so that's a thought. We could also, let's see here, if we add, actually, if we just take our longs, do not add, hold on. Let's make these numbers. Oh wait, I can just do this. Geographic role, lat is latitude, long is longitude, which it did by default. And then I can add my lat and my long. Here we go. So now we've got a map going on. What if we turn this into, and this is just by, yeah, no, this is basically all the marks in the data set here. We've got 1607 marks. Is there anything we can add that makes that grow? Just checking. 1608. If I add zip, no. If I add date created, no luck. Okay, but what I was gonna say is we could do like a density map, perhaps. You can kind of see the hot spots here. It would be really cool to overlay like temperature data over this and see if the locations in which centers are being built is seeing a higher increase in temperature. But this is interesting. We could even up the intensity a little bit to something that just kind of feels right. Maybe lower the opacity a little. Maybe change the color to something hot. Something like that. This is an option. It's just very, very simple feeling. I mean, so is this, to be fair. This is just Legos instead of geography. But okay. I was hoping we could find a good dimension here to categorize these a bit more. The best thing that we have right now is kind of that status. But again, I don't love it really much at all. Obviously, this looks goofy, but just kind of thinking here. We could do a filter on date created. Let me option click and drag that, and we'll do a range of dates. And I could, in theory, make this like a ZN of count. It didn't work. Okay. Um, hmm. Thinking. Mm. our states: Virginia, Texas, Georgia. Information source, faculty name. Let's see here. We could always add operator name to filter. That's not pretty though. Is this the one? Size rank. Maybe. Most of it's unknown. It's gonna get hot. It is going to get hot. Lots of data centers coming. Gotta feed the beast. That AI is not slowing down. It is kind of interesting to see the places where we know that there is community pushback. We exclude these nulls as well. I mean, you don't really see any discernible pattern per se, but it is kind of interesting to hover around. We could even lay these onto one map and use like color for community pushback. Have like something like this. I'm gonna save again before I start moving stuff around. Is this interesting? Maybe. There we go. Now, I believe what we could do, I don't know how this is going to look, but let's test something really quick. What if we do some map layers shenanigans? I'll call this like make point community pushback. And I'll say make point if community pushback equals yes, then we want lat end, and then we'll even keep our unknowns. I'll just say if it does not equal yes, or sorry, if it equals yes, then long. And we'll keep that. And I'll do one more of these. And we'll just say not community pushback. So then if this does not equal yes, and then in theory we can use these. Is there not like a unique identifier for these anywhere? Whatever. City, county. Just grabbing my geospatial fields. State, zip, faculty name, facility name rather. Okay. Facility name is probably what I'm looking for here. So these are the ones with community pushback. And then in theory, I could lay no community pushback on top. What does this look like? City, county, facility name, state. I'm just dragging the whole kitchen sink on there. So then what if we did like a grayscale density palette for no pushback? And then for pushback, we did something that was like red hot. Let me crank up the intensity on both of these to like 90. Let me maybe lower the opacity to like 50 and 50. I mean, that looks pretty terrible. Maybe no pushback is something more blue. Are they there still? This is a mess. This does not look insightful whatsoever. It could work though if we went back to density and then we split these out by has community pushback. Just say if community pushback equals, we don't even need an if. This is just community pushback equals yes. And then we can split this out. Most of them are no. Just need to really up our intensity. This could be our story for the day. We could do something that is, and I might even, let's try this. United States, if I do just US, then I make this geographic and country. Should really add this on as a layer. Change this to a map. Oh, but it gives me Alaska. Yeah, I'm going to exclude Alaska. Oh, I grabbed city. I was like, what? What do you mean Alaska's not a state? Exclude Alaska. We could even exclude Hawaii. We play around a little bit with the background layers. I don't need this. Why are these gray? And why can't I exclude that? It is excluded, but it's still there. Question mark? It seems weird. I don't know why that would be the case. Okay. What if I do a data source filter? Yeah, you can't hide from me forever. That was weird, but we got it to go away. So these are our records with community pushback. These are our records where there is not so much community pushback. I think there's an interesting narrative here that we can definitely run with. The question is, how do we want to lay this out on a dashboard? I would love to, on these streams, find a way to get my iPad hooked up to this. I say it like it would be hard. It's probably like a Google search away. But then I could do like some whiteboarding. And we could talk through design a little bit. But I'll just call this like community pushback or no. Maybe we could make our title something fun. I'm thinking like, I'm just dropping this here because I have a thought. Everybody is adopting AI. Not all. All looks like AI though. Yeah, I got to wordsmith a little bit, but you see the vision. And then we need to grab a floating container. $850. Oops, I forgot to resize my dashboard to 1400 by 850, my favorite dimension. Bada bing, bada boom. Send this to my back so we can get to this later. Need to grab our junk container, stretch it over here. We can drop this in here. Then we need a good old trusty footer. And we need a sheet. Get some outer padding going. I need to clean up these tooltips. Okay. So then I need to, if I grab my has community pushback field and I go to my aliases, we can just alias this. So I'll say community pushback on data center. Bada bing. You know what I was thinking about? I haven't used Poppins in a while. I love me some good poppins from time to time. So let's bring it back today. Um, cool, cool. Maybe we can lower this to 12. Okay. Make this a little bit larger. Play around with our map. We don't need any of this. Our layers, we could probably make this map look a little bit cleaner. Why does that look so pixelated? Something looks a little off there. Also, you see these marks are blue. I wonder if I changed these density maps back to, do I even need this? What is this? I don't think I need this. Yeah. I'm just going to call this, we could have just done this with one, but whatever. Red, blue. That's right, right? No, it's backwards. Oops. Red. It is interesting, by the way, that you're able to rename marks cards the exact same thing, but normally with fields, you have to like add a space at the end. It's kind of a strange little quirk that I just noticed. And then blue. I'm going to flip flop the order of these just so that it kind of matches the visualization. And now what the heck was I doing in here? Oh, I wanted to see if I could change that little blue dot when I hover over these to something else. If we go to like circle, and then we change these to say white, and then I go back to density, they're still blue. Color, border none, halo none. I don't know if there is a way to change that from blue under the hood. Hmm. Hmm. Wait, did I do my, is this whole thing backwards? No pushback or unknown. Oh, I'll put it down here. Yeah, that's right. Pushback. Go ahead and format these to be big and bold. That's blinding. I'm just clicking around. All right, dark mode it is. Could always wash this out a little bit and get like a gray effect, which I don't hate. I'm gonna add like a blank field here so I can use that as like spacing here, and I could control the spacing I want. I actually kind of like how that defaulted. Um, I think this is coming somewhere. I think now what we got to do is just clean this up, and we might actually finish a bit early. It's only 8:35. I know I started early, but not that much earlier. Um, and maybe we tune the colors a little bit. I think the intensity might be a bit high. What if we make this like 80? Isn't there a what does size do again? Yeah, it makes your blobs bigger. I would like bigger, blobbier blobs, but I think it's going to be too hard to get these two values to be the exact same. Unless it would be so nice. I'm using my scroll wheel and you can see the thing moving, but it doesn't actually change the size of the marks. Even if I hit enter, which stinks, it would be a really nice way to tune these. But alas. All right, I'm not going to mess with the size. I could put like a min of 1 on size. I can't actually for a density map. Never mind. Let's clean up these tooltips. Oops. Let's clean up these tooltips. I don't think I need county on anything. We can take this off. County is actually splitting up the view here by a mark. So I guess we'll leave it there, but I don't need it in the tooltip. I want facility name. I want city state. I don't really want zip. Community pushback we don't need because we have our other little guy. Well, we'll keep it. And then we can hide this from our tooltip. Because that way we'll be able to see a little bit more detail down here, whether or not something is unknown or I think no was the other option. I think it was always unknown. I think I actually like my label better then. Facility name, city state. We'll keep the status in there. I think that's useful. City state. This is still showing county on blue. I said I could get rid of this one though, didn't I? No. Uncheck include in tooltip. City state facility. Oh, and then status. Nice. Any other fields that we want? Maybe we'll put date created in there. Oops. Date created. Maybe size rank and operator name. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. We want our facility name. And then we want city, comma, state. We'll put has community pushback at the bottom. Okay, hold the phone. Tell me more about size rank again. Go to aliases. Oh, that's like a launch date. Um, I don't actually think operator name is adding that much value to the point that we're trying to make, which is are people pushing back or not? I think size definitely is something that we care about in that context. Status is interesting too. Operator name, I don't think it is. Was I editing the red one? Yeah. Something like this. Useless. We can do something where maybe this is size 12. Maybe this is like our bottom gray. What happened to my tabs here? Now those should align, right? Yeah. And then this is community pushback, so I'm going to make this darkened red. Nice. And then we can go down here, do the same thing, and maybe this time we just have like a muted gray. I think I'm gonna succumb to a dark mode dashboard again. We're gonna just try to color swatch whatever this guy is. The worksheet needs no background, and you guys need a different color. Bada bing, bada boom. Grid lines need to get out of here. Actually, row dividers might be okay. But then it puts it on the top too, which I don't want. Shoot, I forgot where the data was from. Data centers database. That's fine. Frac Tracker Alliance. There's a couple of marks in here that don't have a city, and I'm thinking about if I feel like fixing that. I don't know if I do, to be honest. Close out of that. Yeah, I'll fix it. Why not? There's a live stream. It's not that hard to fix. So here's what I'm thinking. Um, Easiest fix is just state in tooltip, and I'll say if not null state. Shoot, how do I do the if null thing again? There's a better way to do this. If not is null, so meaning if there is a state, so then we can do state plus, and then this will just have like a comma and a space, and so now we have right now, if I go to like one of these Virginia marks, we see that it's a comma, space, and then Virginia. But if we replace the state field in the tooltip, I'll just add this in the tooltip. And then right here where we have city. Oh, shoot, I did state. I meant to do city. Switch this really quick. City in tooltip, and make this the name of the city. Plus, if not is null, city. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, when we go in here, we can actually get rid of our comma and our space, get rid of our city field, and then add our city in tooltip. And now everything should look the same, but when we get to those Virginia marks, the comma disappears as well as the space, and we get as clean of a descriptor as we can. Let me make sure I do the same thing to the red layer as well. Add this in here. Drop it in right here. Clean this up a little bit. Boom. And I think now we should be about good. Awesome. Oh, hey, Matt. Welcome in. You're late to the party. That's all right, man. It's a live stream. It's if you're here, you're here, and if you're not, the recording is available. So I think you did catch me at the tail end here, though. We finished a little bit early today, and I think the narrative is quite simple today. Let's go ahead and make this something like that. Oops. I was trying to hide sheets. I think this will do it. Tooltips are formatted. I've got my narrative that I want. Yeah, that was a quick one. Awesome. Then yeah, let's go ahead and save this one time. Upload to Tableau Public. I can't type today. Mm-mm-mm. Do-do-do-do. Um, U.S. data center locations, Makeover Monday. Narrative being all your precisely. Precisely. Also, shameless plug for the Tableau Public published data sources. It's a new pop-up anytime you go to public.tableau.com. But if you hit this Explore Published Data Sources, they have a beta now where you can actually download and start visiting straight from Tableau Public. So they've got some pre-baked ones from Tableau Marketing. If you scroll down just a little bit, though, you'll actually see that the Makeover Monday team got to partner up with Tableau Public. So we've got a collection of, what is that, roughly 10, maybe 11 different data sets that were featured in the launch of this. So the game plan for us is if you go to Makeover Monday, it's going to be a hard way to find it. If you go to my page and you go to following and the Makeover Monday page, you'll see those 11 data sources are here. In time, we would like to get the entire backlog of 300, almost 400 data sets up on Tableau Public. We are waiting for API access because I don't want to manually key in, through the UI 370 times. But once we get access, this will eventually be backfilled. So it'll be another place, not the only place, but another place to find your Makeover Monday data sets. Stay tuned on that. But yeah, that just about does it. So I'm going to wrap up this live stream. And yeah, thanks for joining.